Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3. I'm your other host, Galvin. So, we're about a month off of Barbarossa, so I'm actually going to start off, just debug Fog of War. Because I want to show you guys something. I had a look around here. Explain the undeclared. Did that really just happen that quickly? Oh, we were at least a month away from Barbarossa. So the Soviets, in their infinite wisdom of sending a bajillion dudes to my border. A bajillion. I will use that number correctly in this case, I think. Have left the German border completely unguarded, which is apparently in reloading, caused the Germans to decide, you know what, hey, Barbarossa sounds good right about now. I don't blame them. Does sound pretty good right about now from my perspective, too. And I actually decided to finish off some story events. Hearts of Iron 3 is a very scripted game, and it works better if you punch in a bunch of story events. The first one is actually to help the Soviets. One, there's no way they are winning a two-front war, because, you know, they're still looking like they're going to leave about half of their troops behind to keep this shit garrisoned. Half their stuff is nowhere near going to be enough to stop the Germans. They're just going to pound right on through, especially since they have Finland and everything. So, instead, I've decided to make a nice little event for them, which we'll get to see right away, it turns out. The Bessarabian War has become known as the Great Stalemate, neither side willing to pay the price to advance, if that's even possible, reminiscent of the First World War. Now that Stalin has been stabbed in the back by Hitler, and as the German army advances, the Red Army is finally willing to back down, at least for now. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They'll be back, because they're evil. Which gives me some changes. I have to downgrade my laws since I'm no longer at war. And the Great Stalemate has occurred. In short, I am at peace with the Soviet Union. For time. For the motherland and destiny. And the Polish are rising. So, yeah. The Germans have some time to get ground here, and that's the scary part. Like, the Soviets have to move their entire freaking army up here. Think about that. Like, getting that into a stable position and not just getting surrounded by a German blitzkrieg. Oh, that's terrifying. I do not envy the Soviets right now. So, how goes production? Fine, I suppose. Damn, that's expensive. And I guess we really don't need those anymore. I'll put those on the back burner. I have a lot of other things that require work. Okay, so everything else is being upgraded. Like, we need to get to work. Alright, that's probably gonna use up most of my IC doing that. But we'll do another round just to make sure. I'm gonna make sure not to click friggin' rocket artillery. I do not have any upgrades for that. Alright. We're also going to make a bit of a change to how we're doing research. Yes, I have troops in foreign territory, thanks. Okay. So. Boop. 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 That knows how much that's actually going to... Why did I do that first? There. I'm sure that'll use up pretty much all of my IC doing that. Yeah, sounds about right. Okay. I wish them luck, I suppose. Yep, everything's being upgraded. So, unfortunately, we don't have much to work with right now in terms of IC. We're limited as a result of resources, mostly. They aren't willing to allow us debt. How much are we working with? 2.88. Alright, well, we can do that. Oh, wait, they don't have a surplus? Who's got a surplus? The UK has a surplus. Thank you. Like, don't mind if I do, son. Probably spend about half. We'll go with, yeah, 10 rare resources. Really? Jerks. I'm nice enough to come to their door and, you know, start offering them a way out of their problems. Help them out. They're all like, no. Maybe I should join the Axis. That'll teach them a lesson. Let's try that again. Please. Excellent. So, second time's the charm. I think we've got rare resources covered. Right now we need 40 coal, and I think we can probably get it from Germany. No, not. Gonna put us into the red a bit, but that's okay. I'm hoping that we can get at least somewhat lucrative deal with somebody to give them supplies. Okay. The USA is willing to buy a certain amount. Let's find it. 13 a day. Deal. Puts us well into the green. Very acceptable. And we're slowly trying to trade our way up to getting decent IC, which is tricky. I don't want to import from the USA because God knows if I go to war with anyone in Europe, I don't have a navy. I can't protect my freaking transports for the life of me. So, I've got to import from Europe and export wherever. Makes things tricky. Alright, now we're still bleeding out a fair bit, but I got us enough for another 20 IC, which is important. Let's see. How much are we sitting on here? Another 2? Alright. Yeah, 26 energy. That's good. And then from the UK, I'm going to need 13. Yeah, we'll go with 14 rare materials. Canada's been accepted in the Allies. Well, that took a while. Persia is in the Axis and is mobilizing. Oh dear. There we are. We're getting up a lot of extra IC this way, which is good. Kaiser Wilhelm II, last Kaiser of the German Empire, has passed away today, at the age of 82. Poor soul. Anyway, wow, we have an extra. Oh wow, yeah. Now we're apparently bleeding metal and coal. I didn't realize we'd have that much extra on that front. USA still short supplies? Not really. Anyone short supplies? Japan is, but they aren't making any money. Nationalist China, on the other hand, I might be able to sell some supplies to. It appears not. Jerks. That's the problem. Finding someone who has a surplus of money and a deficit of supplies. This is why I generally automate trade. Yeah, Mexico, maybe. Mexico, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Alright. Surplus of money, deficit of supplies. Always so tricky. I think I'm just going to actually turn on automate trade. And I'm going to let it try and sort out whatever it can for trade deals. Like, automate trade will, if it can, like, find a deal, it will make it. So we're just going to have to hope that it can do something. Alright. Yeah, we have inefficient research. Speaking of which, I need to cut light tank engine research. And I actually need to start researching medium tank reliability and armor. As well as, I suppose, a couple levels of that. We're going to cut back on officers spending a bit. Which is fine. The reason for this, by the way, we have inefficient technology. Mechanized offensive from the land doctrine. Sure, we can get rid of that. The mechanized offensive can be ditched for the moment. Since we're in good shape. The reason I need medium tank related stuff, and I totally forgot about this is where self-propelled artillery and like tank destroyers and rocket artillery, the support stuff that I use, gets their bonuses from. Without those bonuses that I get from the medium tank stuff, they are roughly equal to regular artillery, and not actually that much worth it. You know, it's not really a big upgrade. They have a little extra defensiveness and toughness, but that's about it. And you can greatly increase that. Mechanized defensive, yes. Okay. So anyway, we're just sort of sitting here. That's why I have Fog of War off. It's not really granting me any useful sight. It's much funner to watch, you know, the Germans just plow into the Soviets. Yep. Soviets are falling back and look like they're getting encircled a bit. Not good. Not good at all. Poor bastards. It appears there's been a landing in Sardinia. That means the British have researched landing craft, actually. Yeah, generally does not attempt landings until it has landing craft technology. So, good to know. Britain's about ready to join the old fight. Also, don't cross Britain. Unless I can garrison every one of my ports. Which, let's face it, I can't do in the slightest. How's Crete doing, by the way? Gave it to a long time ago. You seem to be in charge of things. No real problem so far. And, yeah. Oh wow, they're already to Leningrad. They've already taken Leningrad. The Great Patriotic War. Struggle for the East continues. That took, what, 2 months? 3 months? Oh, Jesus, Soviets are screwed. And I thought I was going to be able to save them, hopefully, by making peace with them. No, apparently I should just be plowing right along with the Germans. I made a mistake. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That's not good. Oh, no, who knows? Maybe Germany will get stopped. We hope. I'd prefer not to end up with, you know, Super Germany anytime soon. But there's still a decent distance from Moscow, and an even greater distance from Stalingrad. No, that one's Stalingrad. Yes. This one is Astrakhan. Yeah, this one's Stalingrad. And all three of the Soviet cities generally have to fall before they'll give in. Because each one of those, I believe, is worth 25 points. So they're massive. Assuming the Soviets hold even one of them, they probably will not surrender. Alright. So, in the meantime, how are these things going? We're getting a little more upgraded, which is good. Trying to get about as much done as possible right now. And yeah, things are good. Things are actually pretty good. I'm debating if I should get things like rocket test site and start going for V2s. They're surprisingly effective. So how is the rest of the world? Well, let's see. Germany's got Fortress Europe kind of coming along there, I guess. All the ports are blockaded, or garrisoned. Oh, another landing? That's occupied. Sardinia is completely fallen. It appears the Italians are having some trouble holding their islands. Have they actually lost any, like, resources from that? Like, Sardinia has some, yeah. So does Corsica, but I don't believe they started with Corsica, so... Oh well. Yeah, no, that's Vichy France. Okay. So they haven't really lost too much. Just a small amount of resources in Sardinia. So Italy's still in the game. That bulge. That bulge. This is Axis victory music. I guess they are technically in the lead. So, one of the things I like about Hearts of Iron 3 is it has dynamic music. Depending on who's winning right now, it plays different music. There's a couple of Ally songs, a couple Soviet songs, and a couple Axis songs. It's like, oh, wow, I haven't heard the Axis songs in a long time. It's usually the Soviet or the Allied songs you hear. Because they usually do well. Holy crap. They're falling back to Moscow, almost. I'm tempted to intervene on the side of the Soviets. On the other hand, it looks like they're starting to have some issues here. It's coming closer to the winter. Hopefully, that'll help. Let's get a weather readout here, can we? Yeah. There we are. Let the white come down. It's Day of Infamy. And Tora Tora. Well, I think we know what happened. I do believe Pearl Harbor was just attacked. So, I take it that means... Yep. No? The US has not actually joined the Allies as a result of this. Interesting. Usually they do. Like, usually they do. Usually that's what causes them to decide, yeah, we should join the freaking Allies. Inefficient research, light tank gun. Sure thing. It's time to drop out of that, which is fine. What else can we put it into, though, is the next question. 42, no. That's 43, so we can't do that for another couple months. Maybe I should just do officers for a bit. And I still have a lot that I can improve on officers. Tactical command structure, yeah. I'd get my mechanized some extra morale. That's very important. No, actually, no. That would be mechanized defensive. I was thinking of not the correct one in that case. Ah, well. Damn, trying to figure out what tech to research next. It's always tricky. Because I'm very limited on leadership, so I have to be very specific about what I go for, and I've made my choices. So it's like, oh wow, I actually have a spare point. I have no idea what to do with it. Probably just go with, like, agriculture. I mean, I don't really need the extra manpower. 800 is safe for this build. On the other hand, I am up to 14 leadership, which might actually make education worth it at this point. And I say that because 5% is now, let's see, well, 10 is 5%, that's 0.5. So 0.75, that'd be enough possibly for 15th technology. So it is reasonable. I could think I can just go with leadership improvement here. Alright. It'll take a little while. That's fine. Silk concentration advance, which is fine. But for now, it's going to be the end of the episode. The Germans are getting awfully close to Moscow. Now, we're actually going to do a little interesting thing to end off today's episode. We're going to go over to the Soviets here. The Soviets have enacted the Great Patriotic War, which gives them plus 3,500 manpower. They have over 4,000 right now. I'm not going to touch anything on the Soviets or the Germans, but just mostly for point taking. Whereas the Germans only have 1,234. Put frankly, unless the Germans can slaughter the Soviets very effectively, they will run out of manpower first. Like, the Soviets outnumber the Germans 4-1 here, in reserve. So, if this drags on, the Soviets will win. It's going to be interesting to see, how that plays out. How will it play out? How will it play out? At any rate, that's going to be the end of the episode, folks. So, without further ado, thank you everybody for watching. As always, this has been your lovely, lovely host, Calvin, signing off.